Et voilà. So we are at Webcom Live.
Oh, wonderful.
I'm with Adele McAlear.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
So we met together. We met at third Tuesday,
Third
troisième
Tuesdays,
mardi.
that's right, that's right.
We speak both French and English, depending of the
yes.
time. So, and you're here today at Webcom to make a conference.
Yes, I am.
So, can you tell to these people and to
Sure.
myself, because I didn't have the chance to see it.
Sure.
What was it about?
Sure. I'm speaking on death and digital legacy. This is a research project that I started 18 months ago. And it started because I knew somebody online who passed away in December '07. And it started me thinking about how we meet people online, we develop these relationships online, we create all sorts of content online, and what happens to all of that when we pass away?
That's right.
And so I started interviewing people and asking them about their experiences, talking to families who were trying to find the records that people had left online.
And which families, if I may ask? I mean, here in Montreal or somewhere
Yes,
else?
some in Montreal,
Okay.
yes. And there's one case study that I use in my presentation that's about a man who's 34 years old and he died suddenly, and he's in Kansas City, Missouri. And friends of his from Twitter contacted me to let me know his story, and it's a fascinating story because it shows how the his community came together to save his blog, to save his photos, to save his work online. The family was totally disconnected from their son's digital presence. They had no idea what he did online. And it wasn't a negative thing. It's just the family didn't even own a computer. They weren't computer
Absolutely.
savvy at all. And so it was a question of this disconnect between an online community and your online friends and the family. And I've heard reports as well, when somebody dies, that the family doesn't understand what's going on online and they shut down people's accounts. And it doesn't leave online friends any place to go and grieve and to mourn and to pay tribute. And so through my research, I've been discovering, what terms of service agreements are like for different, and what policies are like for different companies if for families who are seeking access to their loved ones' data.
But what interests me, because I remember, I think it was 1 year ago in 2009, or maybe later, earlier in 2008, I think Julien Smith did a short conference about the same subject, but it was 2 years ago, or 1 or 2 years ago.
There was Gabe Mack.
Oh, Gabe Mack.
It was Gabe Mack who was
McIntyre.
here 1 year
That's
ago.
right.
1 year ago.
I was mixed up one more time. You're right.
Gabe Mack did a conference here at Webcom in
1 year ago.
May of '09.
So the
That's
big
right.
question is, did something change since that time?
Well, Gabe was really exploring the concept of digital immortality and whether or not the way the automation, the way systems have been created, whether it would be possible for a person's identity to live well online and interact with others through an automation system and through artificial intelligence, whether or not this was going to be possible for people to have an immortality online. Okay. I'm examining more tangible things in terms of what does an individual need to do to safeguard their own content. Because content, once it's online, people have this idea that it's going to be there forever. And in fact, it isn't.
Well,
it disappears quite easily.
That's right, but we have a friend, Renée Watelet.
Yes.
She's a person from Montreal, and
Yes.
she moved to Mexico, and
she
was killed,
That's
murdered.
Right. Yes.
9 months ago.
In fact, the first...
And she's still there.
Yes.
She's still on Facebook. You
Yes.
can still see
Yes.
your face every second day.
The very first time I was scheduled to speak on this topic was actually at PodCamp Montreal in '09, and I'd been scheduled to speak for several weeks. 2 days before I was to speak is when Renée was murdered.
Okay.
And so it was at that time where I questioned whether or not I should go ahead and do the presentation, because I knew that many people who were going to be at PodCamp were going to be her friends and who were in a state of shock and who were mourning. And I didn't want to trouble anyone or upset people. And so I appealed to the conference organizers, and they urged me to continue with it because they felt that it would, in fact, have been something that Renee would have gone to. Mm-hmm. And so although her presence is still there on Facebook, certain measures have to be taken to safeguard her blog, mm-hmm. And any other digital presence that she has. If she had a Flickr account, if she has domain names, there are things that you need to take care of.
Is there a market there?
Is there a market there? There are, in fact, companies that have sprouted up in the last 2 years. Mm-hmm. They are essentially digital executor services where they safeguard your passwords and your account information. You can upload files to them or final emails even, and they lock it down in a secure account. Mm-hmm. And from there, they send out. They all have different methods of verifying whether or not you're still with us. Mm-hmm. And once they determine that you've passed away, once they determine that you've passed away, then they contact the people that you've indicated to tie up your digital affairs.
Okay, so there's already a new market.
There is, in fact, this is a burgeoning market.
And so, what do you recommend? What should we do?
First thing is you need to take a digital inventory and mm-hmm. find out where you are online and what is important to you. And then talk to your family about it. Make sure they know what's important to you and what you'd like to live on and what you'd like to be preserved, what you'd like to just shut it down, let mm-hmm. it go. And if you've got things that are tied to a business, make sure that any online things that are tied to a business you've accounted for in your will, and you've made sure that your business associates can tie up those affairs. The next thing you want to do is make arrangements you want to appoint a digital executor, perhaps two, one for the family, one for your business, so that when you do pass away, you've got somebody there who is internet savvy enough to be able to go in and download things and back things up, to be able to go into your computer and save the files that are important to you. Mm-hmm. So once you've done that, then you're in a pretty good position. But it's most important to talk to your family and let them know what's important to you.
Cool. So we'll do that. I promise I will do it as soon as I can. I got a couple of computers, many accounts. Every password is different because I don't use twice the same password.
Yeah, and the most important thing to pass along is your email, and the password to your email.
Yes, but I'm the only one. That's what I said.
But once you passed on the email and the password to the email, almost all your accounts can be reset with a password reset.
That's right. So you have to give your email password, your main email password, which is tied to your account.
Yes.
To someone of confidence.
That's right.
That's a good point, a good starting point. And we're done.
Thank you.
So thank you, Adele. Have a nice, end of the day here. Enjoy the cocktail. I see you there.
Merci, Christian.
Et à bientôt.
À bientôt.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.